What to do then if you think someone's false? There's this temptation that we get all this, oh my gosh, this person's false, they're deceiving so many people, I need to warn the people. This is not your job. My sheep know my voice. There are some servants of God out there that are prideful. They themselves like to condemn and judge those who are sinning. They like to be like, you're so wrong, and coming in that way. Well, the people that follow them are the same way. They want to follow them. Jesus was not trying to get the Pharisees to follow him. I mean, we need to let people have their own free will and understand that God is in control, that these are God's people. My sheep know my voice. So God's children that actually want to be in his will, who have a pure heart, they will hear his voice. They will see, I see pride, I see condemnation here, I see judgment. I don't see God there much, and definitely not as much as here. I'm gonna go here, where I see God, where I see compassion, where I see mercy, where I see real love of God. I wanna go there. We don't need to worry, we need to save people. Let people follow who they wanna follow. Let people be judgmental together if that's what they want. We can't force people. If you really think in your heart someone's false, someone's wrong, what you should be doing, being the brightest light, the best representative of God you can be. If you really have a heart for the lost, if you really have a heart for people who you think are deceived, the more you shine bright, and I'm speaking out like to servants of God, to people who have platforms. Many times people with platforms feel like, I need to rescue people, I need to blast this person so I can rescue those people that are deceived or whatever. Instead, why don't you shine brighter? Instead, why don't you be the greatest example of God's love that you can be, the greatest vessel of God that you can be, which is love. Why don't you focus on that? Why don't you focus on doing the work of God? Why don't you focus on helping people, actually helping people, rather than being distracted and throwing stones at someone else? That's not helping people. God's entrusted you to a platform. Why don't you focus on helping people? Why don't you focus on being the brightest light you can be? Because then, like I said, my sheep will know my voice. When you can focus on being the brightest light you can be, the most like Jesus, the most full of his love, having his fruits the most, now you're allowing God to lift you more. You're allowing God to be, okay, I want to send your videos out more. Oh, now you're being like me so much, I can trust you with more. I can put more anointing on you more, where people are going to be so touched by the power of God, and I'm going to lift you now. Why don't you put yourself in position for God to lift you, rather than put yourself in a position where he has to push you down and humble you? It's like shooting yourself in the foot. If you're really concerned about people being deceived, focus on being the greatest light you can be, so those who are deceived with good hearts, why don't you be the vessel of God that shows them the right way? By not throwing stones, but just shining God's light, so that they are attracted on their own will to come and receive from God through you, through your ministry.